The Scrum framework defines 5 values, and the idea behind defining these values is that they help us get better at Scrum and help us use Scrum to get better at our work. When people think about values, sometimes there's negative connotations like morality and so forth. But here we're really talking about fundamental principles that will help us get better at Scrum and use Scrum to get better at our work. The 5 values are fairly easy to understand. The first is commitment. And the idea behind this, as stated in the Scrum Guide, is that people in a Scrum team, in an organization, personally commit to achieving the goals of the Scrum team. That idea of personal commitment is not about a deadline, for example. Instead, it's specifically about the idea that we need to be fully engaged as a human in achieving those goals, that we are, I want to use the word committed again, but that we are totally in and that we don't have any hesitation. So that's the first Scrum value. Second one is courage. The Scrum team members need to have courage to do the right thing and work on tough problems. Now, I see this all the time, and I'd love to share a little example of this. One Scrum team I worked with many years ago, the Scrum Master was a woman who had previously been a developer, and she wasn't confident in her role as a Scrum Master. But at one point, the team really needed to get a piece of equipment in order to improve the quality of their work. So, after some investigation, she actually went out and, using her own credit card, spent $2,000 to bring this piece of equipment into the team. Now, later on, she did indeed submit an expense report and was reimbursed, but she didn't know in advance that she would get it approved. The team needed it. She had the courage to take this step immediately and put herself personally on the line. Now, $2,000, some people might say that's not a huge amount. It's true, but it was substantial. And this is the idea of doing the right thing and working on tough problems. Now, hopefully most of that doesn't require personal risk like that, but sometimes it does. And that's why these values are so important, is to understand that this is about personal abilities and qualities. The next Scrum value is focus, that everyone on the Scrum team focuses on the work of the sprint and the goals of the team. Now, this idea of focus can be contrasted with distraction or interruption. And, we all have our devices that we are constantly distracted by. It's very hard to apply this value. And I would say that in this day and age, this is actually the most difficult of the Scrum values to actually apply. The next Scrum value is openness. The Scrum team and its stakeholders agree to be open about all the work and the challenges with performing the work. Now, you can see that this is actually connected to courage and commitment as well. That if we're going to be open about our work, that includes things like quality problems, obstacles that we're having, even our own inability through lack of knowledge or skill to be able to do something that maybe our organization or our team expects us to be able to do. So openness is related to courage, but it's really about transparency as well. The final of the 5 Scrum values is respect. The Scrum team members respect each other to be capable, independent people. And this is something where I think personality and our own personal experiences in the past come into play. That if we've had positive experiences with work colleagues in the past, this is a lot easier than, for example, if we've had someone backstab us for a job opening or something like that. And so Scrum is asking us to put that aside, any of those negative experiences, and to really respect our team members as capable, independent, and for that matter, well-meaning people. The Scrum values are the foundation. They help us get better at Scrum. And more importantly, in a sense, is that they help us use Scrum to get better at our work.